Most women are not even faking online. They are faking in real life. They are faking in their marriages. They are faking in their friendships. They are faking in their careers. They are faking in their walk with God. They are faking in their parenting. They are faking in their identity in who they are. Hey, friend. Welcome to the Rise and Rebuild podcast. This is your space to breathe again. A space for women of color, single women, and single mothers to finally feel seen, deeply supported, and reminded that you don't have to do this journey alone. My name is Lydia, a certified life coach and founder of Break the Cycle Global and a proud cycle breaker. Around here, we don't just talk about life. We get real about it. The messy, the magical, and everything in between. From breaking unhealthy cycles to mastering your mindset, navigating relationships, parenting, career, money, faith, healing, and so much more. This is where we rebuild when life doesn't go as planned. I know what it's like to feel stuck because I've been there. And now, my heart beats for women like you, ready to rise up and embrace love, abundance, and confidence. So whether you're carrying painful wounds, facing another hard season, or simply ready for a fresh start, you are in the right place, my friend. Grab your coffee, warm your tea, and welcome home. Because this is where we break, heal, and rebuild together. Hey, friend, welcome back to another episode of the Rise and Rebuild podcast. Happy New Year, you all. If you're new here, welcome on board. I'm Lydia. I empower women like you, rise and rebuild, and I'm really glad you pressed play today. Before we go anywhere, again, can we just pause and give God thanks for life, like real gratitude? Not because everything is perfect, not because you have all the answers, not because your relationship is thriving 24/7, but just because you're here. For just the mere fact of you being here, it's probably the third or the second week of January and you made it. God has kept us, and that alone is a reason to be grateful. Regardless of the pain going on in your life, regardless of the things that are not working out so far, just stay grateful. I am not advocating for toxic positivity, but what I'm asking you to do is just to give thanks in all things. Thank you so much, dear Jesus, for another season, another year for us, and another chance to rebuild and rewrite our stories. So before we begin, you know what I'm about to do, some little housekeeping here and there. First of all, our cycle breaker reset starts this week. We're actually in the week that we are doing the reset between January 14th to January 16th. If you have not signed up, it's still not too late. I think by the time you're listening to this episode, we will be on day one of our reset. So you can still join us. We'll have recordings. If you miss anything, it's not too late for you. So it's running between January 14th to January 16th. We are going to do a full reset of your life. The reset that doesn't just hype you, but actually helps you shift your life. So if you haven't joined, it's not too late. The link is in the show notes. It's on my bio, or you can email me and I'll get you in. And for the woman listening, like Lydia, I'm not even sure I can show up consistently. That's exactly why you need the reset. Because you don't need more motivation. You just need alignment and support in this season. And as I said, there will be recordings. You will get your recordings. Secondly, if you've been enjoying this podcast, again, I'm starting to sound like a broken record. Please hit follow and subscribe. Leave me a quick review and send this episode to a sister that needs to hear it. Sharing is how we grow this community. It's how we heal together. And lastly, sis, this year, I cannot say this enough. You need community. As you heal, you do. Not because you're weak, but because healing wasn't designed to be a solo event. If you don't have sisterhood, accountability, or a safe place to grow, I'm inviting you to come join our community. The link is in the show notes. It's free for all, and it's real women doing real work. So you're not going to feel out of place. Get in the room and find yourself community. So come on, join us, and we will be glad to have you in. So today's episode is a real one. And I'm calling it real talk. And I'm asking you a question that is going to probably trigger you, but I hope it really lands well. Are you faking your life? And before you get offended, let me say this gently. I am not asking this to shame you or embarrass you. I'm asking because I've been there. I have lived seasons where everything looked fine on the outside, but on the inside, I knew something was off. And if there's something I've learned over the years, is that a lot of women are also there and they're just better at hiding it. You ask me, how do I know that? I know that because I've been there, number one. Number two, because I work with women every single day. I talk to women daily in coaching rooms, in private conversations, in DMs, in emails, in some sessions that start with, I don't even know where to begin. And what I keep on hearing over and over again isn't laziness or lack of faith or a sort of rebellion, but what I hear is misalignment. Women who are doing all the right things but don't feel connected to their lives. Women who are functioning but not really fulfilled. I don't know whether you're feeling me. Women who are holding everything together, but they're quietly falling apart. On the surface, actually, they look very stable. They look very good. They are probably married or accomplished or looking very faithful or responsible or respected. But underneath that, there's a disconnect between who they are living as and who they actually are. And that gap, that space between the outer life and the inner truth is where there's a lot of exhaustion, a lot of resentment, and some quiet sadness that begins to grow over time. And the truth is that most of these women are not pretending because they want to deceive anyone. No, they are pretending because somewhere along the way, being honest felt risky. Because telling the truth felt like it might cost them their relationship, their image out there, their stability, or the version of themselves everyone depends on or everyone thinks they are. And so when I'm asking you, my friend, are you faking your life? I'm not calling you out. I am calling you back. Back to yourself, back to the truth, back to alignment, back to the God that created you. Because you cannot heal what you keep managing. And you cannot build a new season on a life that doesn't feel real to you anymore. And that is why there is a lot of misalignment between your inner self and your outer self. And I'm calling you back home. Come back home. You see, my friend, faking your life doesn't always look like lying to people, as I've said. No, sometimes it looks like even smiling while you're really drowning and dying inside. It looks like you posting on Facebook, on Instagram, God is good, while you're privately, anxiously dying every night. It looks like calling yourself healthy or you're peaceful when really you've shut down emotionally. It's like you keep on staying busy all the time so that you don't have to sit with your feelings. You being the strong one while secretly feeling very lonely and seen and tired. Can you resonate with that? And I want to name the truth. A lot of us, or a lot of you, are not faking because we are fake people. We are faking because we learned survival mode. We learned how to look okay. We learned how to perform. We learned how to keep the image intact because somewhere along the way, we started believing that if people saw the real us, they would leave us. They would not want to be around us. We will be known for who we are. But the real question you should be asking yourself, what is this hiding costing you at the moment? What is it costing you to keep up the performance? What is the cost? Ask yourself. Because the most exhausting thing in this world is living as two versions of yourself. There's the version that people see, the productive one, the strong one, the put together one, the wife who handles it all, the woman of faith who always has a scripture at hand, the mother who keeps the home running, the friend who checks on everyone else. And then there's the other version you live with, the one who cries alone in the night, in the bathroom, the one who overthinks all night, the one who keeps asking God, what is wrong with me? The one who feels emotionally disconnected in her relationships, the one who feels like she's losing herself, but doesn't know how to say it out loud. And as I said, sees that gap, that disconnect right there, that is where there's a lot of resentment and a lot of emotional burnout. So let me give you some signs actually while we're still here, just so you can locate yourself. You might actually be faking your life if you keep on saying I'm good, even when you're not. Like it's your default setting, it's your default response. It's rehearsed. You don't even check in with yourself anymore. You just say it because you don't want to be a burden or you don't want anyone to ask follow-up questions. You just want to answer and just move on. I'm good. You might actually be faking your life. You might be faking your life if you avoid hard conversations and then call it, I just don't like conflict. I'm keeping the peace. When really, you're just afraid of conflict, as I said. I'm talking about you swallowing your needs, silencing your voice, shrinking your truth, then calling it maturity when really it's fear or conditioning or people pleasing. You might be faking your life if you're always performing strength. You don't know how to receive support without feeling guilty. You're the one everyone leans on, but you don't lean back. You'll show up for everybody else, but when it's your turn, you say, I'm fine. Not because you don't need help, but because you don't just feel safe needing the help. You might actually also be faking your life if you only feel valuable when you're productive. When you rest, you feel anxious. You don't know how to rest. When you slow down, you feel like you're behind. When you're not doing anything, you feel like you're failing. We call it discipline, but that is a survival pattern sometimes. That is your nervous systems most of the time equating your worth with the output. And that feeling of you have to do can be a survival pattern for you, right? You might also be faking your life if you feel emotionally numb, but you keep telling yourself, at least things are not falling apart, right? It's like you've really accepted a low grade sadness, a low grade emptiness, and some low grade heaviness. And you've convinced yourself over and over again that at least, we are stable, we are fulfilled. But deep down, you are falling apart. You're just not fully present. And one of the things that most women do is fake in relationships. You might be faking your life if you're in a relationship where you look stable on the outside, but you feel alone on the inside. You're doing life together, but you don't feel seen. You're sharing space with somebody, but there's no intimacy. You're committed, but you're disconnected. And you don't even know how to bring it up anymore because you don't want to start something or start some war. So you just keep smiling and slowly disappearing into yourself. And this is not an exhaustive list. I've talked about it over and over in the past episodes. There are so many ways women fake life. Some of them are loud, but most of them are very quiet. And some of them really, it's not because you want to, it's circumstantial, and I'm extending grace. And some, it's because you're loyal to something or some people. But at the root of all of them is the same thing: misalignment. Living in a way that no longer matches your inner truth. Carrying agreements that once kept you safe, but now they are keeping you stuck. And that is what I want us to talk about here, because once you understand why you learned to live this way, you can stop judging yourself and start healing from the root. And listen, because I know some of these things are very heavy, if some of these signs are hitting too close to home for you, I want you to stay with me and extend yourself compassion. Not because you need fixing, but because you deserve to understand why you show up the way you show up. And let me be clear about something. This conversation is not about social media fakeness. No, that's too easy. That's surface level. And honestly, that's not where most women are struggling. Most women are not even faking online. They are faking in real life. They are faking in their marriages. They are faking in their friendships. They are faking in their careers. They are faking in their walk with God. They are faking in their parenting. They are faking in their identity in who they are. And most of the times, actually, they're even faking it with themselves. Because it's one thing to curate a feed on social media, but it's another entirely different thing to curate a life. And what I've learned, honestly, through this journey is that the most painful form of pretending happens in the places that are supposed to feel safe, like your own damn life. So let's talk about those places slowly, honestly, without shame. I want you to remove shame when we are talking about the places you and I are faking life intentionally or unintentionally. Again, as I said, some of these things are circumstantial. It's circumstances that make you do life the way you're doing. It's not your will. You would love to show up authentically, but sometimes the circumstances just don't allow you to. And for that, we are extending grace. So let's start in the very first place we fake the relationships, as I said. This is where it hurts the most because when something feels off in your relationship, it doesn't stay contained. It spills into everything that you do. Your mood, your confidence, your career, your nervous system, everything that concerns you. If your relationship is not doing well, and could be a romantic relationship, could be friendships, could be parent-child relationships, this can affect your entire life. And some of you here are in relationships where you smile in public, but in private, you're dying. You don't feel safe to express your needs. You don't feel safe to say, I'm not okay. You don't feel safe to be honest without it turning into an argument, a shutdown, or being blamed. And that could be, as I said, even parent child. Some of you here have very difficult relationships with your children. I'm saying that because I saw that growing up. And so what do you do in such situations? You find yourself adapting, minimizing, shrinking, or just keeping things light to keep things moving. And so you're learning how to be fine when you are not fine. And the truth is you're emotionally disconnected. Even if you're not yelling, even if you're not talking about it to somebody, even if you're not saying it out loud, you are disconnected, you are misaligned, and you are very lonely in such a relationship, whether or not it's a romantic relationship or parent-child relationship. And here's the hard part. Some of you don't even know what you need anymore because you've been performing so long in these relationships that you forgot how to ask and advocate for yourself. You don't even know what you feel, what you want, or what you need. And that is why I always say healing is not just about leaving toxic situations or relationships. Sometimes healing is about learning how to show up as your full self, even in that relationship, and telling the truth in love. Whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's friendships, whether it is parent-child, whether it is even office relationships, career, boss and yourself relationships. Owning that relationship and showing up as who you are helps a lot to heal you in such dynamics. And if you think this is only about relationship, no, it's not. It can spill to friendships as well, as I've said, because some of you are surrounded by people, but you're not really known. You have friends who know your highlights, but they really don't know your heart. They know what you post, but not what you carry. You're the one who checks up on everyone. You're the one who sends encouragement. You're the one who shows up. But when you're struggling, They either go quiet or you go quiet. Faking life is just not about friendships and relationships and careers and, all the other areas of our lives. There's also the part that most people don't want to talk about. Some of us clearly are faking it with God, the all knowing God. And I need you to hear this carefully. I'm not saying you don't love God. I'm not saying you don't believe or have faith. I am saying some of us have learned how to be spiritual without being honest. You pray, but you don't pour your heart out. You worship, but you don't surrender that one area. You're still holding tight to it. You post scriptures, but you're secretly anxious, bitter, or tired. You say God has it while you're trying to control everything. It's just so hard for you to surrender. And can I tell you something? God can handle your truth. I have seen God handle me in ways I could not even begin to fathom because I used to be the queen of control. He can handle your questions. He can handle your disappointment. He can handle your grief. What he doesn't want is the performance. So some of us are really performing with God. We are having a relationship with God that is based on guilt and not a real enough relationship for you to transform. God is after the root, not the appearance. And as I said, some of you, your next breakthrough is not about doing more. It's about just telling the truth. Just say the truth. Come clean with God. Stop pretending He knows you. He sees you. You may pretend or fake life or hide behind some emotions intentionally or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously, whether you wish or you don't wish. But with God, there's no hiding. Now, let's get to the heart of this all and wrap it up because I don't want this to sound like, hey, stop being fake. That's not what I'm saying. As I've said before, when a woman is faking her life, most of the time, she's not trying to deceive people. She's just trying to survive. So faking becomes a strategy when all you learned is that honesty came with consequences. Being yourself got you punished. People will never see you the same again if you get honest. Now what? So what do we do? So how do you stop? How do you just get real and throw the mask away? How do you just start to live authentically? And not by announcing it to everyone, not by making dramatic changes overnight, but by practicing truth one honest moment at a time. And you know how we roll over here? We name the pattern and then we find ways to disrupt it. So here we go. Here are a few steps. I want you to take these next week, just very tiny little steps, so that you can start showing up authentically as yourself. Are you ready? First of all, naming. Identify where you feel the most pressure to perform. Is it your relationship? Is it your parenting? Is it your business? Is it your friendship? Is it your faith life? Just name it. No shame. Awareness is power. When you name something, you call it out, you take away its power. Second, ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I tell the truth? Am I afraid of conflict? Am I afraid of rejection? Am I afraid of disappointment? Am I afraid of being misunderstood? That fear tells you where the healing is, where the healing needs to start. And third, this is where you get real. Practice one truth out loud, not online, in real life. It can be small, like acknowledging that you've been feeling overwhelmed. You've been pretending and saying you're okay, but you need support now. That you don't like how you've been communicating perhaps to your child, your partner, or even a friend, and you don't feel like yourself lately. And just accept that. Say it out loud. You need support. You need help. For instance, if you've been faking in your relationship, it's time to have that conversation. It's time to get real. What is hurting? What is not working? How do you move forward? How do you heal yourself? How do you communicate better? How do you love your partner better? How do you get your needs served in your relationship? How do you serve the other person? Because remember, as I said, sometimes you could be the one that needs to break the cycle of stonewalling in the house. You could be the one that needs to be the bigger person in a relationship, maybe a parent-child relationship. I don't know. You could be the one that needs to steward yourself better. You could be the one that needs to steward your resources better. So identify that one truth and practice it out loud, not on social media, but in real life. Take one small step at a time. And then fourth, take the pressure off perfection and choose progress. You need to stop pressurizing yourself. You need to stop making it look like you have to be perfect before you get it. Stop pressurizing yourself. It's progress over perfection. This episode is for you to get the courage and live authentically. Get the courage and step up. Get the courage and tell yourself the truth. I am not living as authentic as I should be. Where am I faking my life? Which areas of my life need me to say the truth? I centered mostly on relationships because that is where I see most of the women that come to me have issues with. But there are so many areas where women fake their lives. As I've said again, either intentionally or unintentionally, could be how you spend your money, how you show up out there, how you're showing off. I don't know. Right? But I want you to come back to yourself and ask yourself, am I living an honest life? Am I being myself? Is this who I'm supposed to be? Am I getting my needs in this relationship? Am I giving other people their needs? Am I the one preaching water and drinking wine? Because what you advocate in others, you should also advocate in yourself. So sis, you don't need to become someone new. You need to come back to who you really are, the real you, the honest you, the healed you, the you that doesn't have to perform to be loved, the you that can actually take responsibility. We talked about it, mirror, mirror on the wall. Could you be the problem? That's an episode I talked about. Maybe go listen to that. But for today, I want you to audit your life and look at the places where you're not living authentically, where you're not stepping up as you should, where you are giving out your power to other people. That's all I had for today, dear Cycle Breaker. Until next time, I want you to stay grounded, stay faithful, stay grateful, and remember, we are not here to fake it. You come as you are. We are here to break, heal, and rebuild together. The messy, the magical, and everything in between. So this is a challenge for you. Audit your life. Last episode was about auditing. I will continue to speak to you until your ears burst. Audit your life. This year demands an authentic you. It doesn't matter how ugly your story is. It doesn't matter how negative you think your life is. Just live your truth. Everything else will flow from there. Until next time, I love you deeply. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.